Alright, hi, this is my fourth time trying this. I had to, figure out exactly how I wanted to have it set up to make it the easiest way. This is my very first attempt at the biweekly history test. I did it once a couple years ago, but I forgot to record it. But I can see that the record is on solid now. So the way that I have it set up is I have my computer connected to my TV, so I can look up at the TV constantly and know when I'm out of time. And that's when I go to the next one. And the random generator, because it's connected to my TV, I only have one computer. So the random generator is going to be done by the phone. So all I really need is the phone and the timer. Okay? So we're going to get the timer going. And you have 1 hour. And once you hit, you have to visually. I'd like to have it go on a beep every hour. Maybe this little timer can do that and you can set it, but so I can't do it with the beep, I just have to look at it, okay? So, and I already set this is for the AD, 200 decades from 0 to 2000, and I already set it, so we're going to do the third, so 3, just knock it back 1, so it's the 20s, right? So if you get one that says 84, just knock it back 1. 84, okay, so then it's 83, and then add a 0. That's all you have to do. So it's the 830s. So, number 3, knock it down, add a 0, the 20s, okay? So here we go. Set. Oh, I guess you have to start, okay? Start. Okay. So, the first one was 3, that's the 20s. So Caligula, Tiberius was president. He did his prescriptions, killed 3,000 people. John the Baptist was baptizing. I would say Tiberius. Well, Caligula was living on the island of Tiberius. That might be mentioned. Tiberius was living on the island in the 20s and having sex parties. That might be in... This is all whatever's in Wikipedia. That's all about all I know. But we're almost at the 59 points. So now what we do... And now I turn here and you can actually see it. So now what we're going to do is the random number. Generate 157. Okay. So 157, so 156, 0. The 160s. 160s was the very last, that was when Antoninus Pius was in the beginning of the 160s, and then he passed it to Marcus Aurelius at the end of the 160s. I would guess Marcus Aurelius was starting to write his books in the 60s, his book called The Meditations. They were fighting the Marcomani Wars against the Germans, and that's where the movie Gladiator was based off of. Probably not going to be in Wikipedia. Commodus was the co-emperor with his father. Okay, we're out of time. So now it's for the 57s. Generate. 29, the 280s. In the 280s, crisis of the 3rd century, Diocletian tried to create the Tetrarchy. He set up his palace in Croatia. Maximius, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, was a general at the time. They recreated the Constitution with the Tetrarchy. I already mentioned that. With the Caesar and the Augustus to manage east and west, north and south. That's all I can remember. So then we're out of time. So, generation 153. The 152, 0. The 1520s. In the 1520s, the Spaniards were preparing to do their boats to the Americas. And I would say Christopher Columbus probably died in that decade. They discovered the Mayans. I'd go ahead and guess that they took over the Aztecs, although I think it was the 1530s, and I'll guess the Mayans too. But I think it was the 1530s. But might as well guess because this went off. As far as yeah, okay, out of time. All right, random number generator. 850s. In the 850s, I would say it was Charlemagne's son, Pepin the Fat, or Gertrude, and then the Bold. They had to switch up divide the Angevin Empire, or the Charlemagnian Empire, into three sections: Carolingia, Francia, or Eastern, and then Eastern Francia, which was France. 820s, the Vikings were, was that Lindsvarn Viking raid on the Ireland? Okay. See, my brain's not working very well. Can't even form words. My thoughts are faster than my mouth. All right, so... Okay, so 118, the 1180s. In the 1180s, the Muslim Iraqi Baghdad Caliphate was in full bloom, and I would say Avicenna was writing his books of medical, and the Mongolians were... Temujin was born, I would guess, although I think it was a little bit later. Temujin was a boy and killed his brother and became tribal leader in the 1180s, probably. That's Genghis Khan. Let's just guess the Robin Hood was doing his deeds, and Braveheart, perhaps, for the Scottish independence. Okay, so now we're out of time. All right. 180, 179. So the 1790s. Oh, that's an easy one, dude. French Revolution, American Constitution. American like independence, victory in the war. Death of King Louis XVI. Death of Marie Antoinette. Rise of Napoleon and the beginning of the first Napoleonic battle and the beginning of the Napoleonic Wars. Montesquieu died. Benjamin Franklin dies. Okay. Okay, so now we're out of time. So now, generation. 173, the 1730s. Okay, 1730s. I would say Rousseau was a boy, possibly born. Let's go ahead and make a wild guess. Rousseau wrote his first book called, and let's even mention it, maybe the first one was Discourse on Inequality. And then there was Emmanuel? And then I knew Rousseau was enemies with somebody else. Kant? Let's just guess. Immanuel Kant, who was French, and he wrote his book in the 1730s as well. The invention of the button. The invention, there were a lot of inventions like that. Invention of the, how about reading glasses? Just guess. Okay, 52. Generation. 22, 21, two tens. Two tens, beginning crisis of the third revolution, third century. It would have been Severus. went to England and invaded the Caledonians, the Scottish, bringing his son Geta and Caligula and the baths in France and Rome, the big baths, the baths of Caracalla, and built the Cathedral of London. I don't know. What decade are we even in? God damn it, dude. See, my brain's not working that good. The 210s. Yeah, so we're out of time. All right. Next one. The 120s. Okay, 120s. 120s would have been Hadrian was emperor. But I think that was his last decade. So Hadrian dies. Hadrian's homosexual lover, not Bucephalus, because that was the lover of fucking Alexander. What was his name? Because he made statues of him all over the place. Whatever. But that was in the Nile River when they visited there. He was traveling all over, setting up buildings. He made Hadrian's villa. Yeah, out of time. Okay. All right, next one. Oh no, that was Alexander the Great's horse, Bucephalus. Okay. 8. The 790s. 790s was the beginning of Charlemagne's reign. His first conquests. I would say the decade of the most of his conquests. He arrived in Rome maybe in 799, because I know in 800 he proclaimed himself emperor of Rome. They may have started the Eastern Roman, the Holy Roman Empire in the 790s. I want to say perhaps Einhard from England was writing at that time. If I had to take a wild guess. The Byzantine Empire was arguing with the Pope, trying to say that they were the real Roman Empire. Okay. But I don't know what they were doing. Basileus. Let's guess Basileus was the king of the Roman Empire. Okay, so now that we're out of time. 120, 119, so the 1190s. 1190s, we just did the 1180s. 1190s, let's guess Avicenna died, or Avicenna wrote a book. Genghis Khan wins his first battle. The height of the Islamic Empire. So let's guess that the caliphate of the Moors. Let's guess that they were the ones who entered into. Oh, they were had battles with Jason Martel or whatever, but that was earlier. I just took a guess. Okay, out of time. Next one. This is taxing, dude. This is tiring. 149, 148, 1480s. Okay, the 1480s. Christopher Columbus was a boy growing up in Geneva. Or actually he was a man, 1491. Yeah, so he was searching around Italy for people to send him to find India by going west. And perhaps even already talking to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella in Spain, or from Castile. It was before it was Spain. And the Mayans had a war. I don't know, because I know they were in existence then. So, all right, out of time. Next one. 165, 164, 1640s. 1640s was the British Civil War between Oliver Cromwell and King Charles II. Oliver Cromwell won and then went and invaded Ireland, killed 500,000 Irish, and Isaac Newton discovered gravity because he saw apple fall on his head, and then also discovered trigonometry and was teaching at Oxford. Yeah, I'm out of time. I can't get the words out that I was thinking, so let's just move. All right. Not 78, 770s. 770s was the beginning of the Caliphate of Egypt, the Egyptian Caliphate of, can't remember. I have to keep looking at this so I remember what decade it is. 770s. In Rome, the Papal States. I think that was later. Let's guess Charlemagne was born in 770s. That's all I can remember. We're out of time anyway. Okay, so next one. 154, the 1530s. 1530s. That's when they took over the Incas, and that was in charge of Pizarro. And then they also took over the Mayans. They killed Montezuma, and that was Cortez. They got there with their boats. They carried the boats up the river and even overland up through Lake Nicaragua. Let's say they killed, 500,000 up there in Mayans, and then 250,000 of them in Inca. 1530s. And they started the silver trade, and they already were getting the silver back. Okay, so that's that. Out of time. Next one. See, look. Okay, we'll try to film that as much as I can. Generate. 4. The 30s. The 30s were... Oh, maybe if I do it like this, you can see actually the time in the mirror. Oh, you can. Oh, fucking perfect. Look at that. Just do it like that. And I can even see it in the video. So the 30s was Jesus Christ died. Jesus Christ gave the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus Christ let the woman wash his feet. Jesus Christ resurrected from the cave after 3 days and then went to heaven. Caligula died. Tiberius died. Caligula takes over. Caligula goes crazy. Caligula dies. His 2-year-old daughter's brains are smashed on the cement as he is stabbed 25 times by his bodyguard. Okay, you're out of time. Okay. Next one. 133, the 1330s. 1330s was the very height of the Catholic Church. I would say Papal States at greatest extent. That was 100 years before the Medicis, but let's say that the Republic of Geneva was founded, Venice founded, or their political system. The Republic. Let's just take a wild guess that the Republic of Naples was founded. I don't even know what the hell decade we're talking about anymore. The 1330s, but we're out of time. Okay, next one. Random number generator. Oh, no! Fucker! They took me off random number generator. No! God! Oh! I didn't know that was a thing. Killing my time. You fucks. Okay, look, 2. All I did was hit generate. So from now on, don't touch the phone. Do not touch the phone except you're hitting the button. So it said 2, the teens. I'm running out of time. So the teens, that was when Augustus died. Augustus was proclaimed a god. He wrote his Augustan accomplishments. They finally conquered Judea, the 20s. And John the Baptist was at his height. John the Baptist they killed Herod. Herod became the king. All right, you're out of time. So no more touching the phone because it'll get to another page. So this stupid thing likes to come. Maybe I could change that. So here we are, 8. Okay, so the 70s. 70s, that would be Otho as emperor for 6 months. Galba was there for the 68, so that was too early. Otho. Year of the Four Emperors was 69. 70s, oh man, drawing a blank. Vesuvius, Vitruvius, the guy, the one who made the Colosseum. The Roman Colosseum was built by Emperor Vespasian, and then he had a brother named anyway. So that was when they took over, killed all the Jews. They had the Battle of Mount Balbinus over in Judea, and they brought 70,000 Jews to Rome to build the Colosseum with their work and their money. Okay, next one. 2 tens. Wow, this little bitch likes to... Oh, you motherfucker! Look. When you have to go back to the page, it freaking does it. God. That's why. All right, 130s. Not my fault. 130s. Besides, this is my first one. I'm not doing very well in it anyway. So 130s. Oh God, Hadrian, after Hadrian. That was the beginning of the year of the 5 good emperors. Let's say it was the 3rd of the 5 good emperors. Let's guess Antoninus Pius. I actually have his coin in my room. His coin had the Nero, statue of Nero on it. So let's guess they moved the statue of Nero there that decade. Oh, we're out of time. All right, next one. Don't touch the phone. Just one swipe. Just hit so it doesn't reset. 960s. Okay. 960s was the height of the. Let's guess it was the decade that the Vikings lost power, assimilated. I know that by 1000 all the languages had kind of been in place. So in 960s, let's guess that like they were for the first Gothic cathedral in France. I don't know. Notre Dame. The cathedrals were really 12 and 13, but 960s. And then in China, Ming Dynasty. Dude, I'm so bad at China. I need to, yeah. Well, this will motivate me to do better, right? No, none of that. God, I wish you would stop doing that. I need to do the settings. 15, so the 140s. 140s was Antoninus Pius. How about the only decade where there wasn't any war? If there was a decade, I would guess that decade. How about what writers would have been writing at that time? Let's guess that I can't even remember the name of the damn writer because I'm so like out of it. The one who wrote Annals. So let's say the Annals were written. I don't remember the writer. What decade? What decade? The 140s. Oh, but you're out of time. Okay. So, generate 60, 59, 590s. 590s was Gregory the Great. He wrote Book of Job, 3,000 pages. Let's say that the Byzantinians God, my brain. What decade? 590s. So Justinian was like the 530s, so it couldn't have been Justinian. I think there was a guy named Basiliski. 590s. Something with the Catholic Church was started. Let's say that they moved the Vatican. Yeah, you're out of time. Okay, I moved the phone to my leg, but I'm going to be careful not to get it reset. So generate 199, 198, 198. The 1970s. 1970s. I was born, but that's not going to show up. Vietnam War stopped, came to an end. It was 65 to 75. The president, Nixon, was going to be impeached, so he resigned because of Watergate, and then he gave it to his second in command, who was Ford, and then he won the next, and then Jimmy Carter won after that, one-term president, and then Reagan won in the end of the year, and they did the Glass-Steagall Act in 77, and McCain was shot down and held as a POW. Okay, out of time. Okay, random number generator, 30, 29, 290s. In the year 290s, Diocletian dies. Diocletian's ex-wife is murdered by, I don't know, Maximius. That was my great-great-great-grandfather. They have, maybe that was the one, which one are we, 290? That was when Constantine saw the cross in the sky and had the Battle of the Milvian Bridge and declared Christianity as the official religion of the Roman Empire. 290s. I guess there was a breakaway state in England at that point. Okay, you're out of time. Okay. Next one, random number generator, is 114. So the 1130s. 1130s was the height of the Islamic Empire. They invented street lights in Cordoba. Let's say the Granada Cathedral. Baghdad founded, I'll say Avicenna again. That's the only. And then let's say that he did the experiment on how big the world was in terms of circumference. The Anasazi built their dwellings at Mesa Verde. Okay. 118, so that would be the 1170s. 1170s was, well, that's the same damn thing. That's not so random. So the Anasazi wreaking havoc, although I don't know if that's going to be in Wikipedia. So people had to start cliff dwellings all over the place, like the one in Chaco Canyon. We're like in the height of the Dark Ages, so it's kind of hard to sell. There's some, I don't know if there was any writers. It was the Middle East that was on top. Let's say they founded their caliphate in like Morocco. I'm just kind of guessing here. So 10. So the 90s. The 90s was Vesuvian. And then 96, I think, was the year of 69, was it? 96 was the year of the beginning of the reign of Severus, I think. Septimus Severus, and he took over from the guy who killed Commodus. I have to constantly look at this to remember what decade we're doing because my brain doesn't work. The 90s. The baths of Septimus Severus. I don't even know if there are baths. See, I kind of have to do my studying again. 1190s. I mean the 90s. A big literature book. How about Seneca? No, that was under Nero in the 60s. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so 110. So 109. So the 11. 11109. So that's the 1080s. So in the 1080s, I mean in the 1090s, oh God, let's say the French bishops stopped using Latin as their main text. Let's say the same thing for the British bishops started using Latin, started using British, and the Germans started using German instead of Latin in the 1090s. Ming Empire, the Great Wall of China, perhaps. Okay, out of time. Oh my God, that's not random. 111, it just went up one. So the 1110s. In the 1110s, I mean the 11Os. In the 11Os, well, that was 100 years before Genghis Khan. That was the very height of the Middle Eastern Baghdad Caliphate, and let's guess that the Caliphate of Egypt got started in the 1110s, and was it Charles Martel? Let's say Charles Martel defeated the Moors in France and took over the the kings. They're Merovingian kings in southern France in their country called Bordeaux. Well, anyway, we're out of time. 50. So 49, the 490s. 490s was the when the entire wave of Anglo-Saxons flooded into Britain, and they had the most number of battles. And the Salic law was introduced and carried into practice, where Romans were worth 1/5 of a German, and the Salic law is the German law, and the final Augustus Romulus was living in the castle in eastern France, Italy, and maybe he died, although I think it lived a long time. All right, 27, the next one, okay, generate. 164, so 163, 1630s. 1630s is, well, let's guess Isaac Newton was when he discovered gravity, and Oliver Cromwell was born, and they were going through the worst of the religious wars all over Europe. Ended in the 1630s, but let's guess it was the most bloody decade of the religious wars in Germany, and yeah, that's it. All right, 96, so 95, the 950s. Good, we're more than halfway there. I'm getting tired. The 950s was the decade that Charlemagne was born. or that his mother was born. It was the decade that 1050s, 950s, that the Byzantine Empire had their first defeat to the Middle Easterners on Middle Eastern soil. And let's say they lost the town of Damascus. I'm just pulling shit right out of my ass at this point. 950s. Yeah. Next one. 174. So 173, the 1730s. We already did the damn 1730s. So that was when Rousseau wrote Emile's Education, Discourse on Inequality, The Rights of Man. Immanuel Kant wrote, I Think, Therefore I Am. Benjamin Franklin was born. The United, let's say the 13 states were founded by the British as states under the British. What decade are we? 1730s. Let's guess that Rome had 50,000 people. All right, that's enough. Okay, so 191. So the 190s. 191. So 190. So the 1900s. Well, Titanic sank in 1910. Titanic was let's say Titanic was commissioned. Olympic was commissioned, and most of it was, let's say it was finished. The Titanic and the Olympic were actually finished as well. And World War I started, and the discovery of oil in Texas, and death of Mark Twain, 1900s. My grandmother, well, I was born in 1910, so it was the next one. Okay, out of time. Generate. 193. Jeez. It's always so similar. 193, 192, 1920s. That's when my dad was born, 1928. That was the stock market crash in 1929, the Roaring Twenties, the economic boom of United States and the stock market. The Versailles Treaty is destroying the economy of Germany. Let's say hot air balloons are used in battle for the first time. Tanks invented. Machine gun invented. Okay. So, next one. 113. So, 113, 112, the 1120s. Wow, this asked me a lot about that. 1120s. All right, let's guess average center proof is the size of the Earth within 400 miles of the circumference. And that, let's say there was a split between the Muslim factions. I'm just guessing that 11. I have to keep looking at this. 1120s. Let's say that the Eastern Francia broke up into, I don't know, let's just take a wild guess that this was when Robin Hood was alive and doing his stuff. Okay, next one. 182. So 181, the 1810s. Let's guess that paddle boats were invented. I'm going to take a wild guess that Mark Twain was born. The Monroe Doctrine. The British-American War, where the White House was torched by the Canadians. The original White House. And 1810s. Beaver trading in full force. Lewis and Clark expedition. And Ming Dynasty. I mean the it's the dynasty with the little pigtails really popular in Germany. I mean in China. Okay, so next one. Come on. 79, the 780s. In the 780s, Charlemagne had his first battle. And Rome was at its smallest. No, but let's guess Papal States formed. I don't know. Yeah. So let's go on to the next one because you're out of time. 130. So 129, the 1290s. 1290s was the year that the grandson of Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, attacked Japan, and they had the divine wind. They attacked him 3 times, and the entire fleet was sunk, and they never made it onto Japan. And let's guess that it was Kublai Khan died, and let's take a wild guess that and this was the Yuan dynasty in charge of China, and let's guess that they were taken over at this time too. And what decade before we run out of time? The 1290s. Yeah, we're pretty much out of time. My brain's getting tired. I'm getting groggy. 142, 141, 1410s. 1410s. I'm just going to take a wild guess that Gianni Bruno was burned at the stake. Whatever that guy's name was. Which I have to keep looking at this. 1410s. Was that when Galileo decided that the Earth was not the center of the universe, of the solar system, but it was our sun? Let's guess that Galileo discovered Jupiter. In what this time? Oh, in the 1410s. No, not that early. And man, this is making me really groggy. I'm going to have to have a nap after this. You're pretty much out of time. Let's do the next one. 13. 13 would be the 120s. 120s was when Hadrian... Didn't we already do this one? Traveling all over the world. Hadrian's Villa. Perhaps it was the one after that. Wow, I can only remember Antoninus Pius. So we'll guess that Pius was the leader of Rome. Let's guess that... What year is it? I'm getting like groggy, like I'm going to pass out. How about this was the first year that they gave away free bread in Rome? Let's guess it was the most peaceful decade of the Roman Empire. Let's guess that, I don't know, Dacio was giving the most gold to the Roman Empire at this time. Next one. 177. The 1760s. One generation before the Revolution. Okay, so that could have been Rousseau, and he was in the 60s instead of the 30s. I can't really remember exactly, but the 1760s was... Let's guess that King Louis the 15th was in charge, and that King Louis the 16th was born, and that, let's guess that Marie Antoinette was born at this decade, and as a princess of Austria, and the zippers. Let's guess that zippers were invented, and that the top hat was invented. Just guessing. 55, the 540s. In the 540s, let's guess that Gregory the Great was born, that most of the ancient senators' mansions were converted into nunneries and monasteries. Let's guess that the 1540s, that the aqueduct, the main aqueduct from the north, was destroyed by the Germans, by the Lombards, that Justinian and Theodora became leaders, and the Nika riots happened, and he attacked Italy and North Africa. All right, next one. 134, the 135 to 134, 1340s. That was the Black Death, started in Italy, and I think it was the Black Death was the worst decade of the Black Death. And so it killed a quarter of the population, and then so it allowed land reform, so that there was no more serfdom in France and England, yeah, you're out of time. Now on to the next minute. 103, so that's 102, so that's the 1020s. The 1020s was, that was when they were gaining identity as countries, so they got their first Archbishop of France and England, and let's say Notre Dame was built in the, no, it wasn't that early. Let's say the very first cathedral of each country was created in the 1020s, and Charlemagne died, and Pepin the Bold and Charles the Bald divided the Holy Roman Empire into Lotharingia, West Francia, and East Francia. And yeah, you're enough out of time. Okay, 22. 21, which would be the 210s. That was when Caracalla built the Baths of Caracalla. He killed 30,000 protesters in Alexandria in the stadium. He killed his brother Geta. His mother dies. 210s. And then he's assassinated by his own people. All right. Next one. Ooh, you actually went to the next one a little bit too early. It's only at 12:29. 164. So 163, the 1630s. 1630s was, I already did that one. Let's say the theory of gravity. How about the very beginning of the British Civil War? King Charles II attempts to execute somebody. Oh shit, you're out of time. Next one. I hope I got it every week, every hour of it. 52. So the 510s. 510s is Gregory the Great dies. Okay. Gregory the Great is born. And British Rome collapses. British France collapses completely to the point of servitude. This is making me so groggy, like I need to sleep. I wasn't groggy when I started this. Out of time. Next one. 195, so 194, 1940s. Oh, thank God, an easy one. Oh my God, this thing's already almost dead. You motherfucker, you better stay on for another 10 minutes. It was because I did those false ones a couple times. So 1940s. Oh, my mom was born. Pearl Harbor. She was born 2 weeks after that. And then we had World War II, the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project, and also the Oppenheimer invents the bomb. Germany takes over the world. World War II. The Battle of Dresden, the bombing of Dresden, bombing of Berlin, suicide of Hitler, Battle of the Bulge, D-Day. I struck gold on this one. Yeah, out of time. Okay. Next one, 126, 125, 1250s. In the 1250s, the Mongol Empire was at its height. They defeated the Polish in battle, and they defeated the Bulgarians in battle. They set up Hungary. No. That was Hun. They settled in. They turned into the Golden Horde. So the Golden Horde was founded, and let's say that the Yuan dynasty was taken over by the Ming dynasty. Oh my! See, this is making me want to learn more, study harder, to do it in 2 weeks. Mo baba. Oh, this is the beginning of the month. So you do beginning of the month, halfway through the month, and end of the month. Bam, that's all it's done. So that was 126. 5. Oh, and I have to prove, that I'm not just picking and choosing. So I have to actually hit the button to generate it when I'm looking at this. So 5, so the 40s. In the 40s, the Apostle Paul was traveling around the Middle Eastern, or the Mediterranean world, spreading the world of Lord Jesus. And all of the 12 apostles were doing that. Let's say that Apostle Paul, that was when he was crucified upside down at his own request, which was a bad idea because then it gave the Romans the idea to do it to the other ones. In Rome, because he didn't want to be crucified like his Lord Jesus. It wasn't respectful enough. And yeah, he was traveling with another female named, and that's when the New Testament was written. Most of the New Testament was written from the speeches from this time, like Ephesians and Romans, and yeah, we're out of time. Okay, so next, I'm sorry, I forgot to, or at least if you can see it, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to do it right. So 126, 125, 1250s. What the fuck? We were all just there. It's not random. 1250s. Same thing. That was when the let's say the Yuan dynasty taken over by the Ming. They try to take over Japan, but divine wind turns them back. They make 4 attempts. They have a battle with a war with and a battle where they take over everybody in the Middle East, and then also beat the Polish and the Bulgarians in battle. Okay, now I'm gonna have to remember to do. See, look, this is how you're supposed to do it. So you see how it says 125, and then it's there 54. So I can't cheat. I can't. You just go click, click. Don't like it. Click, 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 and you're here like watching me. So yeah, so 55. So that's the 540s. That was when Gregory the Great was born. That was when the aqueduct of coming from the north of Rome was destroyed by the Lombards. That was when drawing a blank. And as far as the Byzantinians, let's say that's when the 540s, the Nika riots happened then, and the Justinian's invasion of Italy and Africa. And this is going to make me want to study. Okay, so look, 55, just like the last one. I hit it once. You can still see it making number 60, 66. So I didn't cheat. 650s. So 650s was, I'm starting to get really tired and my brain's not starting to not work as well. The 660s, hold this up next to you so it can remind you which one it is. Let's guess that Einhard wrote the plight of the British. 660s, although I think it was earlier than that. 650s, I mean. Justinian dies and is succeeded by Justinius, I don't know. Having to constantly be reminded of which decade I'm trying to talk about. 650s. Let's guess that Muhammad, the founder of the Islam, died in that decade. Okay, but we're out of time. Next one. Okay, look. 66, so that was for the 65s, and then it's hit random number, generate, and see? Didn't cheat. 08, so, or 80, 08. 80, so 80, 79, the 790s. In the 790s, we already did it. God. Charlemagne conquered everybody in Europe, won the most number of battles he's ever won, went to Rome, stayed in Rome a little bit. In 800, he was baptized as Emperor of Rome, Holy Roman Empire. So let's say the Holy Roman Empire was officially begun at that time. Yeah, you're out of time. Let's do the next one. Okay, so 80. Oops. Try this again. It scrolled up. So look, 80. 3. All right. So the 20s. The 20s was the first full decade of Tiberius Caesar. He did his prescriptions, killed 3,000 of his political rivals. Herod of Israel dies. Let's guess John the Baptist decapitated. And in the 20s, let's guess that the construction of Rome, but what specifically? Let's say the bath of. Maybe I'd get some points off of that. Anyways, you're out of time, but there's only 3 minutes left, thank God. So 3. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to show you. 138, 137, 1370s. 1370s was, let's guess, the biggest growth of population in Europe for a while, and a land reform law to keep people from being serfs, tied to their land, not allowed to go anywhere. What time is it? 1370s. Let's guess that falconing was at its height at that time, but it was only allowed for rich people to own them. Same thing with ferrets. 1370s. So it's a random time. Let's guess Magna Carta. Okay, so that's enough. There's only 2 more to go. Whoops, I forgot to show again. Damn, it's a habit. So 37. 37 is 36, 360s. Now, also to help prove, I'll just go. You can hear that I put my phone over there, okay? But I have to keep looking at it to remember what, goddamn, because I'm such a burnout. 360s, okay, 360s. That's, oh man, let's guess that, Constantine dies, pagan temples start to get torn down and replaced by Christian temples. And I have to remember what decade this is. 36. Well, I can prove because I'll just show you how it was before, so I can keep holding on to it. 360s. How about Rome had war with the Middle East? You're out of time. You only have one left. Okay, so look, 37. 37, 360s. Hit it once, hold it up. 99, 980s. Okay, that's the last one. In the 980s, let's guess that the Vikings settled started York, and that French took over as the official language of the church in France. Spanish took over as the official, Catalans took over as the official language in Catalonia. Portuguese took over as the official language in Portugal for the Catholic Church. But in the 780s, let's say that the Papal States were at maximum power. And let's guess that Venice was founded just off of. Okay, so look. I didn't go over time. Out of time. Boom. So hopefully I did all 60. Hopefully I did 60 and I didn't space out and skip one. But if I did, that just hurts my score. So what I'm going to do is, between now and the 15th of the month, I have to watch this and in real time, and I'll film it. I'll film myself grade because it's both of it. And you know what? I'll grade because that'll help me prepare for the next one. So I'll spend 2 hours. The first hour is grading it, which will freshen my brain, and then I go right into taking the test for the next one. Alrighty, and I'll put it on my main channel. All right, and I'll grade this. Yeah, I guess I'll upload it in 2 weeks. So you upload the one from 2 weeks beforehand, and then that's your level for the next 2 weeks. All right, okay. Talk to you next time.